I'm going to show you how to make these cute little baskets. They're so adorable. And all you need is a 10-inch square piece of fabric. I'm going to make one out of this print with a cute lining. If you have a layer cake of fabric, it works great to make a bunch of these. They're very cute on a windowsill. They're fun as a sewing caddy next to your sewing machine to hold your clips. They make great gifts, and you can make them in all sizes. Okay, so I have picked these. Let's get this dookie brown out of the way first of all, and beige, good Lord. I'm going to make the outside of my cute little basket from this print. I love bananas, they're fun. And this is by Robert Kaufman. This is called Hello Lucky. So all I need is a 10-inch square. Now I already have these layer cakes from Kona that I bought, so I know that this is 10 inches square. So to keep it super simple, I'm just going to do this. Now if you're using a lighter piece of fabric, you're going to want to interface this with SF101 fusible. I'm going to grab mine, and I'm also going to interface this one with by Annie's Soft and Stable. That's what gives the basket its nice stand-up shape, and I love it. Here's my by Annie's Soft and Stable. Here is fusible fleece. One side is fusible, one side is soft and fleecy. You can use this too, it works. Really, quilt batting would work also. I'm also going to piece my SF101, and I'll show you that with the top view. Okay, so let me bring over my ironing board here. Now because I have scraps of my SF101, I just kind of jigsaw it together and cut away the excess after I fuse it on. I do this all the time. Interfacing is expensive, so use every last bit. I'm also going to press this Soft and Stable onto the back side of my focus fabric. Now it doesn't fuse it, but it does help when I baste around the edges. It kind of grabs to the foam a little bit better than if you aren't going to press it. Let me say that. It's easier to baste if you press it first. Okay, that's ready to baste. Now this piece, I just have to trim up. Let's baste this piece on now. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to make my stitch a lot bigger. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going around like an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I just want to make sure that the fabric is staying in place. I'm going to trim any excess foam away. There's always a little bit to trim. Just do it now. And give it another press. All right, we're ready to cut our corners. We're going to mark 3-inch corners in all 4 corners. So I'm going to get my ruler. I'm going to do this side. So hopefully you can see my markings there of all 4 corners. Now you can use the rotary cutter or you can use scissors, whatever you're most comfortable with. Save these pieces for some scrappy work later. So this is what your shape will look like. I'm going to do the same exact thing to this one. Okay, so we've got both of our shapes now, and we're going to get this box sewn together. So take your shape and make it like an X, and we're going to fold it up. We're going to fold it up like this. Take some clips to hold these edges in place. But that's not where we're sewing. We're going to be sewing here. So when you're looking at your X that you folded, we're sewing these 2 edges. Now, this is the shape we have, kind of like a fortune cookie. And we're going to take it and bring those 2 seams together in the middle and match those up. So you have it like this. Now we're going to match those middles up, put clips in place to hold everything. And that's not what we're sewing. We're sewing the sides. So we're going to sew this side and this side. And you're going to start to see what this is looking like. See? Isn't it so cute? So you can turn this outside one out. Make sure to push all the corners out really well. Oh, look at that corner. I messed that up. I have that fabric bunched. I'm going to unpick that and fix it because that's going to bug me. No big deal, just come in with your seam ripper. Much better. Looks much better. Okay, we're going to repeat with this, with the inside. So we're folding it up. If you want to use pins, feel free to use pins. Just remember where you're sewing. I can see how this would be confusing and you would want to sew there, but you're not. You're sewing these little doohickeys. Okay, so these edges are sewn. We pop it open a bit. Bring those sewn seams together. And now we're sewing these sides, these 2 sides. It's easiest if you start from the corner, the fold, and sew up towards the opening, because then you can be sure that you're not getting a crease there. Okay, got an inside and an outside box. So we're going to take the outside and push it into the inside, right sides together. You want to make sure that your seams are matching up with each other. Those are the parts that I pin. Or use clips. But just make sure you're nesting those seams. So one seam goes one way and one goes the other way. Okay, so now we're going to sew all the way around the top. I like to sew all the way around and then pick out a few stitches on one side because it trains the fabric to fold in more easily. Now the way I do this is I try, ouch. Okay, clips might be better. Use clips here because pins will stab you as we're trying to sew this, and that is no fun. All right, let's go sew this. Kind of just wrestle this up in here. And just go slow. At those seams, you can either keep them nested, you can press them open. It doesn't really matter. As long as your machine can get over those corners, then you're good. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, tuck this in. You want to come around the top edge here and give this all a good press. Even before we sew our opening closed, I give mine a really good press. Okay, so now we're going to top stitch all the way around, closing this opening as we go. So I've turned in the edges and I kind of pull it taut a little bit, and I'll start there and then sew all the way around the top. I will say, if you come to these corners and it's too much bulk for your machine, just pick up your needle, jog over that bulky section and start sewing again over it. Some machines can handle it and some just cannot. This Janome has no problem with it. This is the Janome Skyline S7. It has no problem with bulk. I'm stopping to make sure that I'm not sewing wrinkles. You kind of have to tug your lining down a little bit. I'm just going to trim my threads, and it's all done in just a matter of minutes. And your little box is done and super cute, and it'll hold a bunch of little trinkets. It could hold jewelry stuff. I have 1,000,001 clips. So I'm going to put my sewing clips in there. Thanks for hitting like and for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you.